Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ozone, live from Koreatown. It is the Brothers Millers coming to you for the first time on the Uninterrupted Broadcast Network.
How you doing?
I am your host, Omar Miller. I'm doing well. How you feel?
Feeling great.
Feeling great. Tell the people your name, brother.
Terry Miller, the Icons.
There it is.
With an E.
And with a Z. And we are riding sideways because that's our tribute to the Golden State Warriors pulling out that dub, which I happen to think was pretty phony. But what can you do? You'll hear me speak on it very shortly. We got a lot to cover today, folks. I want to cover athletes who don't seem to care about whether or not they lose because they end up at the club or in the hotel room with some babes. We got Golden State Warriors, a.k.a. Studio Gangsters. We got D'Antoni in America. Are they the perfect match? A lot of flash, not necessarily so much substance at times. And I want to talk about baseball, best team in baseball, and I want to talk about these rules because John Lester and Joe Madden came out firing about the slide rule, the home plate collision rule, and it seems like it's time now for more people to start speaking on the situation. And, as a baseball player to the heart, I know how I feel about it, and I'm going to let you guys in. I can see how you feel. You look like you want to throw up. You need a bucket? Don't give it up. Goodbye. But let's get right back to where we started from and where we wanted to be. Last time we talked to you, we were in a couple interesting series still. The Spurs were playing the Rockets, and as predicted by the Icons and Next Victim, Coach Popovich figured out the D'Antoni rocket system fairly quickly after a Game 1 blowout.
Yeah, well, everybody was celebrating after that first game. They thought it was over.
Yeah, and it seemed like, low-key, after you watch the whole series, it's almost as if Popovich just gave them that game to see firsthand exactly what he needed to do to blueprint them for domination.
And that's what he did.
Spurs end up taking the series 4-1? 4-2. 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah, they took the series 4-2. It felt like 4-1 because the last game they played without Kawhi Leonard.
Felt like 4-0.
It didn't feel like 4-0 because that first blowout didn't taste right.
Yeah, but
it didn't look right for Pop.
There was a method to the madness.
I mean, I don't know if there's ever a method to getting blown out, but he flipped it. He made lemonades out of his lemon.
Getting blown out ain't a big thing. That's like getting knocked down and not getting up. You know, if you do that, then it's big. But they got up.
Yeah, they got up and they dominated.
Chunked them.
And now what I want to speak on is how I feel like what we saw was Coach Popovich, as you feel like is the greatest basketball coach of all time.
One of the greatest coaches in sports. Period.
You know what? I would love to see if they could have a coach-off competition between him and Coach Wooden. Because I think John Wooden is a tremendous coach overall.
What about Belichick?
I didn't even bring up Belichick.
Well, we're talking about greatest coaches.
Bring him up. I'm just saying.
Have a coach off.
Yeah, it's a lot of rings involved with those three guys. That's what I know.
What would they do? What kind of?
They would coach. They would diagram a lot of situations. Okay. Either way it goes, what I'm talking about is I think that we saw the Coach Popovich come out, dominate the Spurs over the Rockets in the sense that he figured out a game plan that works. He took that game plan and applied it straight to the Golden State Warriors, which we saw absolute and total domination for the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ugly.
Even into the third.
And everybody's talking ring rust for the Warriors and so on and so forth.
Excuses.
I mean, they don't really need an excuse because they pulled out the dub. But at the same time,
with Kawhi Leonard going down, I mean, it
changes everything.
And you know, this play with Jaja.
Pachulia, do you think it was? This is what I want to speak on.
After I've done some research on it, it might be a little dirty. I mean,
what I saw, I wouldn't say that it was dirty.
Yeah.
The first time Kawhi Leonard
they have history
ankle,
though.
No, I didn't know that. Speak on
history.
It. What's the history?
Well, Kawhi, when David West was on the squad, I think it was last year.
When he was on the Spurs, he's championship chasing just like Durant.
Right. So him and Jaja got into it when they played against Dallas, I do believe. And there was a play. Actually, what happened was that Kawhi went down, and when Jaja pulled him down and tried to pull his arm out, sort of like Kelly Olynyk did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To Kevin Love.
Look it up, yeah. So he went down and he actually like armbarred Kawhi when he went down. Ooh. So that's one of the reasons why they got into it later on in the game. And then they've shown a couple other plays where Jaja's been kind of loose with it. And the NBA has a specific rule about going underneath players when they shoot.
Now, Zaza wears a good size 20, I would guess.
He does, and we've seen him, and he's a giant.
He's a giant. He really looks like a modern-day Goliath when you see him in person. We saw him in Atlanta when he was just getting started in his career. Man, oh man, that guy was he's a huge man.
He's a huge dude.
That guy's a big guy.
Yeah, but you have to control yourself. You playing a professional sport. He has to control himself. He knows the rules.
He didn't give him to Draymond. He didn't kick him in the balls or anything.
That's even worse. You can recover from that ball sack.
Yeah. Let's talk about LeVar Ball in a little bit. Yeah, why he ain't? But no. Let's keep it unfocused. So with Zaza, I'm watching the game. The very first time that Kawhi hits the three, he does what a lot of people have seen in rec sports, which is a little feeling myself kind of
popping your collar
pop of a fancy footwork Ali shuffle to reverse, which then in turn had him step on his own man's foot on the bench.
Right.
Now, one of the things
and the ankle was tender.
The ankle was
and everybody played at the park. No, you got to put that string tight. You got to put it crazy tight. Like, choke him off.
That beef had been pounded.
Ooh.
It was tender. And
Rocky.
now, he didn't swipe right. He swiped backwards on Tinder, and it went the wrong way because he rolled his ankle. You could see he was upset. He also was kind of like, my bad, because I did it myself. And he then tightened up his shoelaces. Now, this brings another point into play, which is one that our mother talks about all the time. My mother is a newly minted basketball addict. She can't believe it. She will not miss a game. Forget about it. And if you really want to get under her skin, you go home. You're like, oh, I thought you were watching the game. What game? What's the game? What channel is it on?
Oh, we're playing outside.
Yeah, exactly. She can't believe the game don't wait. And so she's serious about it. And one of the things that she's noticed, and it's always interesting watching somebody watch something new that you've watched forever because they have fresh perspective. So one of the things that she talks about all the time is she's just amazed at how close players, fans, journalists, photographers are to the court. And she's a crazy avid fan, but she's like, this is going to get somebody hurt. And we saw the seeds of that with Kawhi doing the Ali shuffle in reverse after he hit the three, which I think put him up 20-25 or something, that then in turn made him step on his own man's foot, who also has to be at least a 15. I think you got to be at least a 15 to be in the NBA.
Oh, come on.
You gotta have a giant feet to get in the NBA. So one thing that's interesting is he does that, he gets hurt. He gets up, shakes it off, walks it off, be a man, tightens up his laces. Now, when I watched the Zaza situation, there was a bit of frustration that had already built with the Golden State Warriors. This is what I had seen from them getting blown out. There was some frustration. Kevin Durant looked naked and afraid.
Of course.
I don't care what anybody says. He doesn't look like a champion and a winner in the games. He's a guy that's going to take me to another point, but I don't
take you to another space.
Take me to another dimension that you can only imagine with your mind. No, so everybody looked a little nervous except for Steph. Steph didn't look nervous. Steph looked like, look, this is how I play. I'm loose with the ball.
Bad shots early
I take bad shots. I throw bad passes, and people bail me out. And I'm a marksman,
and I look cute,
so I can pinpoint it. So then Zaza challenges a shot. I don't know, man. I've watched it a few times. I didn't feel like he went up under him on purpose. Now, Greg Popovich has just recently come out and said that he does feel like
thunderbolt.
That.
He was real.
Now let's read to you what Pop had to say, because he seemed like he was convinced.
Play where he took Kawhi down and locked his arm in Dallas and could have broken his arm. Ask David West, his current teammate, how things went when Zaza was playing for Dallas and he and David got into it. And then think about the history he's had and what that means to a team, what happened last night. A totally unnatural closeout that the league has outlawed years ago. You want to know if that lessens our chances or not. We're playing very possibly the best team in the league. And 9.75 people out of 10 would figure the Warriors will beat the Spurs. Well, we've had a pretty damn good season. We've played fairly well in the playoffs, and we're up 23 points in the third quarter against Golden State. And Kawhi goes down like that. And you want to know if our chances are less, and you want to know how we feel? That's how we feel. Follow up?
Yo, Coach Popovich is awesome. And you know what else I like about him? He's all man. He's a I think a Navy veteran, Army or Navy veteran.
Is he?
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons that he feels so confident about speaking out on President Cheeto all the time, is that he's done his service. One Wow. Pop coming strong.
And when you do the research, you follow up with that and do your research on that, you'll find out that Jaja is actually dirty. I never knew he was dirty like that.
The only thing that I'll say is that in Jaja's defense, an unnatural closeout comes for an unnatural dude. Nobody will accuse Jaja Pachulia of being athletic. That's not, he's not an athletic dude.
Well, he said that he's an athlete.
He lied, and he tricked Golden State and the rest of the NBA into paying him tens of millions of dollars.
I think they brought him in just to be an enforcer.
Well, they needed to bring somebody in because they traded all of their size to get Kevin Durant.
Yeah, in this case, it works because he's hurt one of the best players in the league.
Definitely, and now,
and honestly, after I've watched everything, I think that he did it on purpose.
Wow. What do you guys think? Give us a call. Let us know what you guys think about this Spurs-Warriors series and about potentially Zaza Pachulia playing dirty pool. Our number here is 424-254-ZONE. That's 424-254-9663. Step into the Ozone. You might get played on air. Now, to me, when I'm looking at the situation, right, Greg Popovich just sold me. He could sell me a 79 Pinto for about 2 G's.
Those things are classics now.
But it's still only worth $75 and a free tow.
Yeah, what about that gas tank, too?
Crucial. It's going to explode on you. But he just exploded on the media because you can see how personal this is for Pop.
Should be.
He had a plan. His plan was working, and then an alternate plan took place. Now, I'm going to add an alternate conspiracy theory that I know a lot of people agree with me on.
Which is?
The NBA employed the second gunman on the grassy knoll. In this case, instead of JFK, the mark was Kawhi Leonard. I would give less than a 2% chance that the NBA would have allowed the Spurs to win this series, even them being up 1-0 with Kawhi Leonard.
All you have to do is still win at their house.
You sound so optimistic, like you don't believe that the NBA likes to rig games.
I know that.
And you know better than that.
I know better than that. But I'm saying that the Spurs didn't get them, though.
The Spurs could have got them. This is past tense. There's no way that you believe that they're going to win.
I think that you built the high drama, though. Now you have the high drama, so now you can actually let the Spurs win. You've got high drama.
I don't know. They don't. They need to it's not about them letting them win. The Spurs dominated to the tune of absolute and total. Not even the officials could cheat to get them back in that game for the first 3 quarters of the game.
True.
That's how much the Spurs were dominating the Warriors. And everybody out there who likes to live in front-running Warrior land, last night you saw what should happen to that team when teams play the game the right way for 2.5 quarters. Where did this LaMarcus Aldridge go?
LaMarcus Aldridge, he showed up.
No, he didn't. He showed up for 2.5 quarters. And then when Kawhi got hurt, he decided to start fading away from the basket. For some reason, he completely dominated them inside going to the basket.
You can't blame that on him, though.
I can't completely blame it on him.
Well,
it's his body.
But what
if you go watch the shot selection in the fourth quarter,
but
all he does is fade away.
Yeah, but
all he does is fade away.
At this point, all the attention is on him. Before you had Kawhi out there, and now all the attention's not on him. That's a big for a guy like him. He doesn't need the attention on him like that.
Yeah, that's fine, but I can't give you a pass. What I need you to do is to step up. You showed me you could do that.
Showed you.
Because in the first half, you completely dominated. You were unstoppable. Draymond had no answer.
Draymond's never going to have an answer for the big man.
JaVale had no answer. They didn't even play him. They brought out Pachulia out there who's got the slow feet, and him and his slow feet got used. And then all of a sudden the focus goes on LaMarcus Aldridge, and he decides, I got to do my shimmy shake right and left, and I'll fade away from the basket, as opposed to punishing the smaller player. I just don't understand. I don't understand.
Well, you don't understand that, but why don't you understand where was Pau Gasol?
Well, Pau Gasol's game, surprisingly, is that. Pau Gasol's game actually
where was he,
has a lot to do. He was in the concession stand. I saw him. They had a nice sale on popcorn. Pausley loves popcorn.
He got him a couple of buckets.
I don't know where he went. I honestly,
because you can't put that all on LaMarcus.
No.
He held his end of the bargain.
He did not hold his end of the bargain once
you
his
want
man
him to close
got hurt.
It out. He's not the man to close it out. He's not that man.
And that kid, I was impressed with Simmons. I was impressed with a lot of the young players that the Spurs had. Murray. And truth be told,
they just got shook because they lost their man.
But see, that was early enough so that they still had a big enough cushion so that, I mean, you're talking about with 12 seconds left or whatever, Steph hits that floater. This is not like the game that puts them up by 2. It's not like the game was, you know what I mean?
Still didn't like blow them out. They barely won still.
Well, they barely won, but they had to come back from a 25-point deficit.
Yeah, but you're talking about one of the best players in the game getting hurt, and that's what sparked
No. Hey, listen, I'm not negating that. There's no, you can't make it a big enough point of that. And that's another reason why they're going to get the cakewalk to go to the finals, in my opinion.
They will not beat LeBron James.
I agree. Or the
Neither
Cavs.
one of those teams.
I think everybody could beat LeBron James if they play 10-on-1. You act like they're only playing LeBron James. But I don't think that the Warriors beat the Cavs. I don't see that. And truth be told, we got a big Game 7 that's about to tip off in about 2.5 hours. And I think that might be a great game. No, they should play it because it's great entertainment. But what it is it's an opportunity for somebody to get hurt is what it is.
Really?
Because not in the Game 7, but in the subsequent series that the NBA will drag out as long as they humanly can, which is now, today is May 15th. The finals start June 1st.
Wow.
What? Why?
Why?
All of these guys play within a 2.5-hour flight of each other. Why, NBA? Why? Just admit that you milk us. Just admit it. Just straight off the nipple. Milk it. I see it. But my thing, okay, let's talk about that. We got a caller. The next victim wants to call in and gloat a little bit about his Spurs prediction. But I want to speak on another point. Let's see if we get him on the line.
What up?
Next victim, live on the Ozone, ready to gloat about his Greg Popovich prediction of the Spurs over the Rockets. Let me catch you up on the conversation, next victim. Let me catch you up.
All right.
We're talking about the Golden State Warriors and their possible exposure that happened last night for those first 3 quarters. And we're talking about whether or not Zaza Pachulia and his big old feet were accidental or were by purpose. Hit us off. What do you think?
They soft in the middle. Draymond Green is their toughest defender down low. So San Antonio take him to big man camp. If LaMarcus Aldridge can remember that he is a big man.
What is wrong with them?
Man, I don't understand. In Portland, he was a big man. Sure he get to San Antonio, I guess the state is too big for him to be there.
I don't know what it is, but I can tell you this, and I just went on a rant right now because for the first 2.5 quarters, he punished them little dudes. For the last quarter and a half, he decided he wanted to be the fadeaway king. What is he doing?
He wanted to go dirt. He got contagious with the fall away. He wanted to do the big man Texas dirt out there.
He wanted to do the Texas two-step, known as in the whiskey.
Yeah, it pissed me off because
me
he
too.
could have been had Draymond in foul trouble. Zaza couldn't hold him. They didn't even bring in JaVale McGee because they know he's just an athlete and not a defender. So LaMarcus should have just been pounding them dudes. He couldn't do no drop step to get to the rim. It's like, come on, man. Like, you the big man. You the premier big man. You in San Antonio. This is what they brought you here for.
But a lot of times he got the ball in a bad situation, though.
No, he didn't. He got the ball on the block in good situations and decided to dribble out.
No, I saw a couple of times he got the ball.
Maybe a couple times. Maybe 2 times.
No.
I'm with you. T is talking some other nonsense because trying to give him a bailout package.
No,
you want to bail out Wall Street and not Main Street, brother.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, but honestly, you can't put it on him. He's finally showing up, and now people want to bash him?
No, I'm not putting it on him.
Don't run Bash Brothers.
This dude, he was in the Bay. He had to go Bash Brothers. McGuire Canseco. Even when Rick went deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the problem I had was he did exactly what he should have done. What he always should do, which is show people that he's the 300-pound 7-footer that you can't hold.
Yeah, but haven't you noticed that was him and Damian Lillard, and now it's Kawhi and him? And you took away Kawhi, so now it's just him. He needs somebody else. He needs a compliment. He's the guy who actually needs the guy. He can't take the light.
The game doesn't change.
The game don't change.
But the lights do.
He can still do what he needs to do. Now he's getting more because Kawhi is not there.
I agree. I'm all the way with you, next victim, because ultimately, now I'm not saying that the loss is on him. Don't get that twisted. But what I'm saying is they still could have pulled out that dub if he would have faded away 50% less. In the fourth quarter, I'm talking about, honestly, at least 80% of his shots were fadeaways.
But why didn't Pop go just all big on him? Bring in David Lee and bring in
Gasol. It's hard. How can you guys second guess your favorite coach of all time?
No. I'm not second guessing him. I said I'm just wondering why he wouldn't do that. I'm not second guessing him because I'm sure that he's going to come up with a game plan the next game. and I'm looking for a steal. I'm looking for a steal this next game.
I think the Bigs just went into shock zone. They went shockwave because I don't even recall Paul Gasol scoring, and that's when you're not getting no boards. Golden State got so many offensive boards,
which was a complete flip of the first half. Because in the first half, I mean, Golden State couldn't find a rebound to save their lives, defensive or offensive.
You win big man package.
David Lee was in there. David Lee had more burn in the first half.
Yeah, I agree with that. And now I want to go into something else. Everybody loves the Warriors, and the Warriors are like America's team now. I've always talked about this. I talked about it last year, talked about it the year before last. The Golden State Warriors are a more palatable team for America. There's a bunch of high yellow, light-skinned cats that do stuff that you can go do at the park. That is not a statement about – it's not a mean statement. You can take it however you want to take it. But in real life, nobody physically looks like LeBron James or can smash a ball off the top of the backboard to save the championship on a block. What you can do is go to the park and play games and dribble between your legs and all of that nonsense and shoot the ball from half court and throw up air balls. You can do that, and then you can feel like once you hit 1 out of 20 that you're Steph Curry. You can feel that way. So now I'm looking at the situation, and I've tried to remain unbiased despite the fact that I don't really care for their style of basketball. I do care for their style of basketball, which is a trip, but I don't care for it in the sense that other teams in the NBA complement their style of basketball by not doing what it is that makes their style of basketball ineffective.
The fundamentals?
Which is to play a fundamental game.
By not playing ball the right way.
This is just all it comes down to. Just play the game the right way. So now my thing is this. I'm seeing so many studio gangsters on the Golden State Warriors. It drives me mad. It drives me crazy. All of a sudden, KD is a tough guy. Draymond is constantly a tough guy, but he's not a tough guy in the sense that I don't get the feeling Draymond's a fake tough guy. I feel like Draymond is just he's passionate about his game.
He's kicking people in the balls for years.
Yeah, that's what he does. But he also gives you triple dubs. So I came front on Draymond. Draymond is at this point the best player on their team in my opinion. I feel like given the situation with trading KD and so on, trading for KD and so on and so forth, what I'm seeing now is, man, it's the shot balance that they put up is all messed up. Klay Thompson couldn't hit the bay from the pier last night.
That's your man.
Which is amazing because that is my man. I believe in Klay Thompson. I'd still, to this day, I'd take him. If I had to just take one dude on that team, I would take him over everybody on that team. Over Draymond, over all of them.
Can't take him over Draymond.
I can because Draymond is the undersized big man that in real life should get exposed for being the undersized big man. That's not on Draymond.
Draymond hustles, man.
So does Klay. Say that again, Victor.
He's a matchup nightmare on any team, so I would take Draymond over Klay if I had to.
Perhaps, but my thing is that Klay can light you up just as good as anybody in the league. Klay can give you if Klay was the focus, Klay could give you 40 a night. I really believe that. But all that aside, now what I see is I see them trying to force Kevin Durant to be the man. And you can see it. He just literally doesn't want it. I don't care what anybody says. It's like how I used to see it with LeBron before LeBron realized that he was the best player in the world. He doesn't want that shot. He'll take it. He'll take that shot. But if you notice, Kevin Durant start hitting shots when other people start hitting shots.
Well, he has to be in a comfortable situation for him to start lighting it up, really. Usually you don't want him to be under the gun. He's not that guy who can take it under the gun.
I don't think so. And
Steph is that
guy. Steph is looking for the ball.
Yeah.
And you have to appreciate that. And what it made me think about, and I want to get both of you guys' take on this, is to me, what's been revealed out of that Oklahoma City team that has now, departed, everybody's parted ways from that original squad. You know what? James Harden disappeared in the series against the Spurs. He got shut down, and he completely disappeared. Kevin Durant disappeared last year after being up 3-1 and realistically looked like he wanted to disappear last night until Steph Curry reminded him that, no, we're the champs. Don't worry, we got it.
And then he became gangster.
And all of a sudden he became a thug. He's talking in people's faces. It's unbelievable to me. The guy's got to weigh 140 pounds at 7 feet tall. It's just unbelievable to me. Now, to me, of those three guys, Russell Westbrook is the only alpha that's out there. Of those three dudes that were on OKC.
I would have to agree.
It's a trip to me to see because what James Harden has showed us is James Harden is actually the B guy.
He like to hang out at the strip club?
He showed us that early in his work. Which, hey, what can you do? Everybody, he gets paid to do what he want to do with his money. But James Harden is actually not the leader because when push came to shove, he rolled over. Kevin Durant wanted to go championship chasing because he didn't feel like he had enough in OKC, which I think everybody on the line can agree that he actually did. Russell Westbrook is that guy that goes to the park and says, even if we lost this game, the other team is going to leave and be like, man, but we couldn't hold Westbrook. That dude put it on us. He let us up. He gave us 55 tonight. They only scored 62, but he gave us enough. So what's your take on that?
Westbrook is that dude that you don't want to play with all the time, but you never want to play.
Wow.
Don't want to play against him because he's going to give you the business, and if he loses, you're going to feel it because he's going to put a pounding on you. And I love Westbrook because he's going to take up. Just with the whole Steven Adams thing, he said, you know what? Put it on me. I had a bad game. I lost. We ain't never heard KD or James Harden say none of that.
No.
And none of them want to play with a dude like Westbrook. Why? Because Westbrook is strong beach and he going to let them dudes know.
LA All-Star. Yeah, he let them all know.
Yeah,
he let them all know.
When they played against each other.
Yeah. I'm coming. You got a better squad than me, but guess what? I'm at you. I'm on your head. Now.
And none of the dudes wanted to go at Westbrook either.
No, because I don't think he's giving you the studio gangster work. I think that if the fight breaks out, Russell Westbrook's actually gonna fight. He's gonna, because he's fighting for the game off the top. Now, I want to speak on one more thing while we got you on the line. I feel like at this point, what we're trying to figure out is who's gonna get hurt between now and the finals to find out if the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be playing full staffed, basically.
KD.
You think it's KD?
Yes, sir. He had the strain in that previous series. He's looking for a way out.
You think? Wow.
You went hard to paint.
I'm not going that hard. He's not looking for a way out.
Want to get on the court.
I don't think he's looking for a way out. I got to call a foul on you right there. That's too far.
No foul, no intention, no. He looked for a way out of OKC. He doesn't want to take the last shot. That's looking for a way out. He's looking for somebody to take charge. If they're not winning, my calf is strained. Man, go get a brush. Brush your hair a little bit.
Why you gotta make it personal, bruh?
Yeah. Now
why you gotta make it? Why you gotta bring up the brothers' waves or lack thereof?
Chumps that be switching teams like that and join forces with the light skinned crew. I don't like that.
Brother, I get the feeling that you may be of the dark skinned chocolate complexion.
Excellent chocolate.
Hey, but you know what? If he's trying to find his way out, he helps them when he's not there. He helps that team if he's not on the court.
A lot of they play very well without him. It seems like they get.
That's
their
when
shot
Klay Thompson comes
together.
back.
That's Klay Thompson.
And Klay is that guy that he shoot you in the game. That guy, he's a big reason they won that series against OKC last year, down 3-1. All right, next victim. I appreciate you. Always happy to have you in the Ozone. And happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Just don't step on my ankle on my way out.
Why not?
Always good contributions on the Ozone. It's a very interesting situation. I mean, I just wanted to tap into that other point, which is really Pop put the game together. Unfortunately, guys get hurt. Great game plan and great execution.
Yes, they're disciplined.
Except for, I have to say, Manu Ginobili gave me tremendous work for the 39-year-old. He gave me great savvy work.
KG veteran.
Except for on that last series where Steph shoots a three and Manu watches. All of a sudden, he became a spectator.
Right.
He was on. He damn near was taking some sips of Mike Brown's water. He was on the Golden State bench watching, which allowed an offensive rebound to go back to Steph. They kick it over to KD, who bricks a three. Once again, Manu is not where he's supposed to be, which allows the ball to kick back to Steph to hit the three. Possessions for one.
Exactly.
And instead of the Spurs being up by two with the ball with the chance of going up by two possessions, they then in turn were down by 3. That was a huge swing. That was a huge swing at the end of that game. And I mean, you can't be mad at the Warriors. You can't be mad at Steph Curry and everything. They played hard. They turned it on when they needed to turn it on. But I needed that board. It was unbelievable. Just one board. And it just made me think of that Ray Allen shot when they didn't get that board that cost them that championship against the Heat.
Yeah.
One rebound. One rebound. And Tim Duncan was on the bench for some reason. But I digress. So, I want to talk about just a real quick statement, something else I looked at with Pop putting together the great game plan, because I really do think he was just working on some stuff and realized that the Rockets were a B version of the Golden State Warriors.
Right.
Mike D'Antoni never wins anything.
I've said that forever.
I agree. I'm not fighting it.
It's fun to look at. It never wins. It's been going on for years. Somebody's going to reinvent the wheel for him, because maybe one of his proteges or an ex-player or something, they're going to finally start coaching and figure out how to win. But I feel like the way that you win with his little scheme or his little stick is to play defense.
Why's it got to be little? I mean, I see your little stick, your little scheme.
Because it doesn't win.
See your little
it's
punt, little scheme. Go ahead. You got your little James Harden dropping 55 and 17. I see your little stick.
It doesn't win. That's why it's little.
And this is my point. This is Mike D'Antoni is the perfect example of a guy that gets employed in the United States because of the American way. It's shiny on the outside. It never actually gets to where it needs to go and progresses.
No substance.
And yet people love it and they keep hiring him. It's just unbelievable to me, because when you look at the situation, you're watching a guy who has not been without a job for the past 15 years or so, who has never gotten, I don't even know if he's gotten to the conference finals, let alone won the conference finals.
Right.
Maybe with that Phoenix squad, they got to the conference finals once, but he never wins. It doesn't work. You got to play some kind of defense to win games in the NBA.
The flash and dash. You watching James Harden, we literally sat on the court and watched him Ole play after play with no interest in defense. With no interest
whatsoever.
So if I'm the coach and I see that guy playing like that, what should I say to him? I know he's the bonus baby, but should I say, hey, James, man, you need to D up?
At some point.
Box
somebody out.
Please.
But that's not the part. But you can't even be mad at James, because that's not part of the scheme. Because obviously he doesn't care. You know what I mean? The coaches don't care.
Yeah, because what did he say? He wants them to shoot how many threes a game? Something
30,
crazy.
50,
yeah.
some stupid.
Like 50 a game or something?
Some crazy number that didn't work. And then now, and I look at that and I think about it's a trip, because it made my mind run. You know, they just had that presidential election in France. Mm-hmm. They said 74% of the French population voted, which was the lowest turnout in the last 60 years. Do you know that if 74% of the people voted in the United States, it would be the highest turnout we ever had, ever?
Right.
74% of the eligible population to vote. Think about that. This is, and I'm blaming it all on Mike D'Antoni.
Why not?
But this is something, and listen, guys, you guys know me. I'm proud to be an American. Yet at the same time, we got a lot we got to work on. This is a serious thing going on here. It's a trip. I mean, Mike D'Antoni doesn't win. Why do we keep hiring him?
Because people keep watching. Don't watch it.
No, you got to watch. That's the crazy thing about it.
That accident.
Who do you got tonight? Wizards or Celtics?
Doesn't even matter.
That's not the question.
Okay. Coin toss. Bling. I'll take the Celtics.
Air coin for the Celtics. Now, I lean towards the Celtics as well, and I would go as far as to say 90%, 10% Celtics if the NBA played the games in a reasonable amount of time. John Wall hit that amazing three at the end of the game on Friday night. We're on Monday now. It's an hour flight between D.C. and Boston.
It's a momentum killer.
And I don't think it's a momentum killer. I think, when you win those kind of emotional games like that, usually you're so spent that you can't win the next game.
No legs.
I think that they've had plenty of time to rest up. And I want to show a little clip. You guys can audio a little clip of what John Wall said.
Just want to say the shot I hit tonight was crazy, unbelievable. I couldn't have did it without the amazing fans there. My great teammates and coaching staff. Guys stepping up, playing big for us. Bradley Beal hitting one of the biggest shots of the game is the three, and all the other big shots he hit throughout the fourth quarter to keep us in it. Just happy I had the opportunity to be a clutch player, get the ball in a situation where it was drew enough for Brad. Play didn't work. They denied him. I had to just get open. Shot I worked on all the time. I'm just glad I was able to knock it down. See y'all boys tomorrow. Get ready to watch Game 7, but that's probably one of the best shots I ever made in my life. And I got a lot of basketball left, but I'll see y'all down the road. Peace.
Man, that's all right. I like
good
that
for that
a lot.
kid, man.
It is good for him because you know what? He's super underrated in my opinion.
Even though it was bad defense.
I don't think that was bad defense on that play.
They needed a 3 to win and a 2 to tie. Why would you give up the 3?
He didn't give up the 3. He was in them. It wasn't
Gave up
like
the
he
3.
was. No, man, you
stayed in him.
go hard on get the foul call. That can't roll. Either way it goes, it was an incredible shot. And John Wall sounded spent on that uninterrupted clip. He sounded wiped, and that was like 2 days after. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I think that we're going to see a great matchup at the point, no matter who it is that wins. I would love to see Kyrie Irving against John Wall because John Wall's big. He's a bigger point guard.
Right.
And I think he's going to be able to be effective in that way. Isaiah Thomas is just a stud, so he's got all kind of heart, and I think that'll be good. But I actually really think that the Wizards match up better with the Cavs. I think they'll give them a better series than the Celtics would.
I just think that the Cavs have a better bench, and that's going to be the difference with that. I mean, there's nobody that's even close to being equal with LeBron James.
Yeah, they got that guy, and I think that he makes a difference in the series. And I think we're both in agreement that
Sacrificial lamb.
I think there might be one game. Maybe there could be a one-game loss. Maybe we're looking at 4-1. But you never know. You know, you have to see how they play out. Again, the NBA wants the drama. Don't be surprised if somebody gets,
technical
suspended and thrown out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't be surprised. You never know what the NBA will pull out. They pull out all the stops, folks.
Well, they say actually that play that Jaja did is actually supposed to be a technical foul.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just read that earlier.
Well, I'm going to tell you what is not a technical foul.
And what is that?
Is my monthly package from the 5-4 Club. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that for $65 a month, you can get a package of tailored clothes delivered to your doorstep that's worth more than $200? You'll find out if you go to 54club.com right now, use promo code OMAR, and begin your spring and summer in a very fashionable and lovely way. 54 Club, life and style. So, I want to move on. I just read some breaking news that was terrible.
Which is?
Roger Federer just pulled out of the French Open.
How do you like that?
I don't like that.
I don't know if you had seen that.
I saw that. I saw it. You know, I'm up on my my tennis. Very disappointed about that. But you know what? Maybe in this situation it'll help him out because what will end up happening is that he'll have a rest so that he can come back strong for Wimbledon.
Yeah, and that's what it's supposed to be the reason behind it.
Oh, really? Is that what they said?
He put out a statement that's just basically trying to preserve his body.
I mean, can you be mad?
Yeah, I can be, actually, because this is what he's paid to do.
Yeah, but for him to be paid to do it for a longer period, for you to watch the greatest tennis player of all time, he needs a little bit more rest. Roger Federer is not going to get injured in his private jet on his way to film a Gillette commercial.
Maybe he might jump on the motorcycle with Madison Bumgarner.
Oh, Roger's not going to do that.
You don't know.
Oh,
you don't know.
Too soon. Wow.
With Mad Bum.
Mad Bum. Yeah, I saw that. I just want to speak on that. But I want to move to our favorite. We're running a little long, but I'm going to give you some of our favorite action, which is the game so fine it's played on diamonds, ladies and gentlemen. Major League Baseball is in full swing, and the New York Mets can't keep pitchers on the roster.
They can't keep anybody on the roster.
But especially the pitchers. What's going on in New York?
We've been trying to figure it out for like a year now.
I'm actually going to talk to Jeff Wilpon about this. I know the owner of the Mets, and he's a great guy. And I'm going to ask him what is going on. And if somebody ends up fired, don't blame it on me because I'm just asking the questions here is all I'm saying.
This is ridiculous.
Now, Juris Familia has a blood clot in his shoulder. What the blood clot? Juan Testadan. And then you have this situation with him on the what's his name? You have the situation now with him getting a surgery to end his season.
Now, they said that it's going to end his season.
Yeah, the surgery. I do believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's going to end his season because it could be the route to thoracic outlet surgery if it goes the wrong way.
You want to go that route?
I don't want to go that route, and I don't think Juris does either. Now, I had Juris on my fantasy squad, so I definitely don't want him to be out for the season. But the Mets now, if you look at it, the arms and elbows that they have injured are the young stud Steven Matz. Noah Syndergaard Thor has torn his lat. Matt Harvey's come back from Tommy John and thoracic outlet surgery.
And he's definitely not the same pitcher.
Unfortunately, love Matt. I hope he gets itself together, whatever it is that's going on out there in the clubhouse.
This is a contract year, I do believe.
Is it?
I think so.
Zach Wheeler just got back from Tommy John. Jake DeGrom from time to time has elbow stiffness or soreness, whatever it is that they call it. And Juris is down, not with the king like Run DMC. So what is going on? Are they putting something in the water out at in Queens or what?
Something with the stretching technique or something.
They got to change something. This is drastic. For Mets fans, this is drastic.
You got to get rid of the medical staff there because it's not up to code, obviously.
Something's not right. I can't imagine all of these guys are defective like this. Lucas Duda is hurt. David Wright is hurt. Yoenis Cespedes is hurt. Yoenis Cespedes, rather, is hurt. But his brother Yoenis is struggling too. I saw him out in the parking lot.
What was he doing?
He had pulled his hammy. he was down on the pickup game. You see what happened? No, and just like, wow, what is going on? And they continue to put up runs, which to me is very impressive. You got the kid Conforto, who seems like he's really coming into his own.
But that was them who stopped him in the first place by
they
not letting him
his
play.
Growth. They started him weightlifting too early. They stunted his growth.
But then they always have this little theory about lefty on lefty. Let these guys play. I've been playing lefty on lefty my whole life, and now I start playing professionally, and I can't go lefty on lefty?
Can't go lefty on lefty, which then it puts about a stigma in the guy's mind.
Right. Maybe I can go lefty on lefty.
Maybe I can hit a lefty, as a matter of fact. I'm glad they told me that. All this time I've been hitting lefties.
Conforto went deep off of Kershaw in the playoffs.
Says a lot.
It says a lot.
And he's been balling recently. He almost cost me my fantasy game this week. I was playing against him, and he put up numbers.
I got blown out.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I got blown out in one of my leagues. I came front. Shout out to Kelly. I saw you, Kel. They got me. But talking about them, and I want to get your take, if you can. Give me your best teams in baseball in each division and why.
Well, if we're going to go by division, you have to start with I'm going with the Astros. The Astros are the best team in baseball. The Yankees are actually better than Boston in the East because the Yankees have a little bit more pitching and, a little bit more pitching depth, even though Chapman went out. In the Central,
what? You just skipped right over the Astros like this, just a hands-down thing. Why do you feel like the Astros are the best team, other than having the best record in baseball? Why do you feel like they're the best team in baseball?
They don't strike out a lot. They have front-line pitching. They have a decent, above-average bullpen.
They cut down on the strikeouts because them young guys were striking out a lot the last 2 years while they were building that team.
Yeah, and they're starting to develop. But then you talk about you have a closer, although he's on the roller coaster. I'm not sold on Giles.
I was about to say, I think Ken Giles, I can't put my stamp of approval on him just yet.
Then they have a couple of kids down there, though, that throws straight fuzz cheese, man. Throw 100 miles an hour. And then they have Davinsky. I think he leads the major leagues in strikeouts. So you can always
blew a save yesterday.
Yeah, but you can always plug and play guys like that, so you don't have to depend on Giles. And they put the ball out the park. You have speed and power.
And youth.
Yeah, come on.
And
man.
Some veterans now.
Yeah, and
they mixed in B-Mac and Beltran.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder how long it'll be before one of those guys get hurt.
I don't know.
Huh. So continue on.
Okay, so where do we have? We're in the Central. I would go with Cleveland.
You think Cleveland is – I'm going with the Twins in the Central.
They're just because they're too young and they don't – I'm not sold on Paul Molitor like there. I have to go with Tito Francona.
Tito Francona is a better coach than Paul Molitor.
And actually, the Royals are starting to wake up.
The Royals are starting to wake up.
They're a problem.
And they gave it to the Orioles this week.
Yes, that's big.
Cost me a couple bucks. I didn't appreciate that.
They swept them.
Yeah.
Now, when you jump to the National League, I'm going with the Rockies. The Rockies have been my sleeper pick because they actually have pitching now, and they actually can shut you down in Colorado. They ran it to the Dodgers this weekend, but they put it on Urias yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, so the Rockies are real. They have pitching. They have youth.
The bullpen is what I'm worried about with
the bullpen is real. The bullpen is real.
The closers are real. The closer, Greg Holland, is real.
They have that bridge that you need now, though. It's usually 5 and dive. The pitcher's going 5 or 6 innings, but they're literally getting a little bit more than that out of their starters. So when you talk about what's the lefty over there that they have?
Senzala?
No, Jake McGee.
You're talking about in the pen.
Then you have Holland, and they have that other kid.
Then you have Holland.
Yeah.
You guys like to give him a LeVar Ball every now and then. Then you got Holland. Then you got Big Baller Brand for Zoe Unlimited.
Yeah, and so you're talking about, that's a nice little bridge right there. And then where do we have in the Central of the National League? That's the toughest division because the Cubs aren't what they're supposed to be, and I don't think they're going to recover. The Cardinals always have a good team.
They're just a great organization.
Yeah, I would go with the Cardinals, especially if they bring up some of those young kids that they have to pitch for them because Wainwright changes, is starting to pick it up a little bit.
Wainwright dealt yesterday.
Yeah, he dealt yesterday. And then in the East, the Mets are putting up runs, but Washington is real. You got
Washington looks like they want to go to the World Series.
Yeah, Bryce Harper is swinging the stick. I don't know why he signed that extension.
No, that's what I was going to talk to you about. Now, what do you feel about that extension that he signed? He signed for $21.65, and they said it was just a gesture of good faith from the organization to say, hey, listen, they did this last year too, by the way.
Yeah,
last year they went, and last year they gave him an $8 million raise, or $8 or $9 million raise. This year, I just want to know, what is the trepidation? You know he's going to break the bank.
Right.
Give Bryce his $250 million deal or whatever it is, and just keep it moving.
Because that's good money. Because maybe 5 or 6 years from now, there's no telling how much these guys are going to get paid.
Yeah.
And so you get him on the cheap. Sign him long term.
But they look good. I think
they have sticks. Yeah. Ryan Zimmerman has
need
been
to
reborn.
Get that lights out closer, in my opinion.
They're struggling with that closer, and they were talking about trying to do a trade with the Royals to get Herrera.
Really?
Yeah.
I would like that because I have Herrera on my fantasy team.
I do too. And also snuck in and stole Betances from everybody while they were asleep.
I saw that. I got Deline myself. But I'm going to say this. Deline came in yesterday, non-save situation against the Astros when the Astros crapped in the cornflakes of the Yankees on Derek Jeter Day. And he didn't look as dominant as he normally looks despite throwing 102 miles per hour. And I feel like even watching him warm up, you could just see, especially now that he's the closer with Chapman going down, you could see the saltiness about this whole arbitration scenario still painted all across his forehead.
Yeah, and I had a big Twitter beef with somebody about that because they were telling me that it really wasn't that big of a deal because they got him under control, I think, until 2019 or 2020 or something like that. But why would you want to rub that kid the wrong way?
I just don't get it.
He could be one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball, closers. He's a great closer. He could be a great closer, but you got to give the guy confidence. You can't just act like he's not above average. I mean, they
ran him down in the arbitration hearing.
They ran him down.
This is what the Nationals wanted to avoid with Bryce Harper, because apparently all of the arbitration hearings are like that. They just run you down.
Right, and then they make you pay on the back end if they stay with the squad, because nobody wants to get ran down. I don't want to get ran down. I put up these monster numbers.
I'm here to tell you, you're hosting on the Ozone.
Don't run me down.
Subpar.
Come on, I'm sorry. You can't do that. Well, you can, but they'll make you pay.
Yeah, it seems like it really sours guys against the organization as opposed to them wanting to be, a part of the organization.
Yeah, but what about his strikeout to walk ratio? That
outrageous.
Is like through the roof.
It's outrageous.
I mean, those are like crazy numbers he had last year with the strikeouts to walks and to innings.
Yeah. And now who do you got with the American League? Who do you got on the American League West?
American League West, that's Astros.
Oh, the Astros are playing in the West. I was thinking they're in the Central. You're right. You're right.
Astros. That's some Stros.
That's them Stros.
Some Stroh brothers.
Stroh brother number one.
What's up, Stroh brother?
All right, you got it.
Nah, if I had your hand, I cut mine off.
Yeah, so that baseball's tricky right now, and we saw what's happening with the rule changes, which are
that 10-day DL.
Not even the 10-day DL, but I want to talk about a few rule changes now, and that may not even be changes. This week, the Twins brought up Jose Berrios, who dealt in the World Baseball Classic and then came out and dealt on the Indians. He seems like one of these guys that the organization purposely doesn't bring up so that they can pay them less.
Right. And they know that.
And the players know that.
Yeah. Just like Chris Bryant had beef and George Springer. George Springer was like, well, don't bring me up.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, well, we'll pay you. But it's unfortunate that you have to, put your thumb to their neck to make them pay you, because you know that these guys, if you sign them long term, they'll stay with the squad.
They sure will,
because they love
playing
the game.
They love playing the game.
They love the game.
And this is the thing about I'm looking in Detroit. This kid Justin Wilson is closing in Detroit now. If he's available in your league, go pick him up. There's no reason for Frankie Rodriguez to break camp as the team's closer with that kid
at all
in the bullpen.
None at all.
And now it's a classic baseball scenario where they want to pay homage to a guy that's given the league something, as if his
but he didn't give them anything.
As if his salary didn't pay homage to his.
Right.
He was compensated for his work.
Yes.
And now he's blown 5 saves so far this year, something like that.
ZRA is probably 200.
Those games are gonna be important.
At the end of the day, they're going to be very, very important, especially in that Central. Come on, dude.
It's a tight division.
Yeah, it's a tight division, especially if the Royals wake up.
Man, I don't understand that in baseball, because now you're suppressing the kids. You don't want to pay them, but you want to pay guys who have made hundreds of millions of dollars and who have given service. I'm all for paying respect. I get that.
Right.
I get it. I actually completely understand that. But you got to do what's best for the team. And in this case, with the Tigers, they're not doing what's best for the community.
No, but that could be Brad Osmus.
It could be.
It has to be Brad Osmus because he's the coach. He's the one that says that this dude is my closer.
Yeah.
I don't need him to be my closer.
Yeah.
They say, hey, Frankie. Frankie should have said, you know what? I'm stinking to join up.
I got to do better.
I got to do better, or I got to step down.
And the team can do better.
Yeah.
And now I want to read at least what John Lester said this weekend on the slide rule. I don't know if we got audio or if it's just a quote, but you saw what happened.
I'm over it. I mean, there was nothing malicious about that slide. He slid 3 inches past the bag. We got a double play. I'm over the rule. The rule was meant to be for guys doing dirty slides, sliding late, taking guys out. There was nothing wrong with that slide whatsoever. And we got a double play for it. Cost us a run. I mean, I'm over it. This game was meant to be played a certain way. There was nothing wrong with that slide that Hap did. I told him in the dugout, I said, next time you do the exact same thing. That's baseball, man. We're out there playing with a bunch of pansies right now. I mean, I'm over this damn slide rule, and we're replaying if it was too far and all this other BS, man. We're all men out there. We're grown men. These guys have turned double plays their entire lives. They know how to get the hell out of the way. There's nothing malicious about it, and we got 2 outs for some reason. So,
based on your discussions with other players too, would you feel like a large percentage feel exactly like you do, regardless of their infielders, pitchers, or whatever?
I mean, Dustin Pedroia got taken out, and he said he's been considered the best double play for 11 years. So, I mean, it is the way it is. I mean, I feel like that's the way baseball should be played.
I am 100% in agreement with John Lester.
Me too, but wait until next year when your boy has the absolute power to change the rules as he sees fit.
And it's really going to be ugly.
Yeah, the commissioner should not have that kind of power. So they're going to have to change that in the CBA because that's not cool, man. You're changing the game. You changed the game at the plate with Buster because Buster Posey got hurt. Well, Buster Posey knows where he's supposed to be when on a play at the plate.
Come on, man. Now let's hear what Joe Madden had to say about it as you keep going.
Office created rules, because I'm not into those things, as you guys well know, about reaching the bag. When you're sliding on dirt and you have momentum, you just keep going. I'm sorry, you just keep going. And there was no malicious intent there whatsoever. So I don't think it breaks the intent of injury. There's nothing to do with injury. The rule does not belong in the game. And I'm not blaming the umpires. The umpires do a great job. Mike did what he had to do. And I told him that. I said, you did what you had to do, but I cannot disagree more with the spirit of this rule under the umbrella of preventing injury. And if you just roll back the tape a little bit, Dexter, good slide into second base. Great slide where he upended Tommy. But that was much more egregiously dangerous than Happer's slide, and we get called out at first base. So there's a tremendous disconnect there, and I think in my whole life, and I think in general, I think we have a tendency to micromanage stuff that we have no business attempting to do. That and the play at the plate while I'm at it. The play at the plate also under the umbrella of protectionism, where the other day Coughlin here jumped over the catcher's head in an attempt to avoid a collision and almost broke his neck. So don't give me all this protectionism injury stuff, because I'm not buying into it. I think it's wrong. I think it's tough for the umpires to have them enforce rules which they know it's not part of the game. They know that the game was not intended to be manipulated in a sense where you lose based on a fabrication where we could have scored a run there, made the game entirely different, but we're out where there's no play at first base whatsoever. None. So don't tell me that's protectionism. Don't tell me a middle infielder was protected. And don't tell me a middle infielder was in danger right there. None of that holds up. So I'd like to see that rule ejected. I'd like to see the rule at the plate ejected. They have no place in our game.
I completely agree. I completely agree. You've been trained and taught to play this game that way ever since Little League, and now you're supposed to stop doing it. How in the world are you going to stop sliding past the bag and the infielder keeps the ball on you, the glove on you as you slide over the bag and then calls you out? How am I going to stop?
It's absurd.
It's ridiculous.
It's not possible. If you've played the game, you understand how impossible it is to exactly measure your slide to stop exactly on the base.
Every situation is different. So you're talking about a catcher blocking the plate. That's your punishment for blocking the plate. I need to get to the bag. So you're supposed to give this guy a clear lane to score. Well, the reason why we have defense is that we want to stop the guy from scoring.
Right.
So why am I going to Olay it and let him score?
Yeah. But then you have to Olay it. I got the answer.
What is it?
Mike D'Antoni's going to coach in the major leagues. No defense, all offensive league.
It'll probably go through the roof nowadays. That's the way everybody likes it. Soft everywhere.
It's
Keeps everything
really soft.
pillows.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to me. I mean, they enact the slide rule after Chase Utley.
I know. Chase Utley did it to us.
But the thing is low key, I wasn't even mad at Chase Utley's slide.
His slide was a little dirty.
It was a little dirty.
But your boy played pretty out there with the spin move and everything.
And you didn't play the fundamentals the right way. No game makes you play. No game makes you pay like the game of baseball if you don't do things the right way.
And you got your leg broke.
And you got your leg broke. You happy?
Yeah.
You got your
next
leg broke?
time, do your little crow hop and get out of the way.
Bounce off the bag, cross the bag, because now not only did we lose that, now we've lost the neighborhood call too. So now guys actually are in harm's way because they have to stay on the base for too long.
Because the neighborhood call saves the infielders.
It saves lives.
Yeah.
Infielders' lives matter.
They do. Hashtag.
Yeah. Where's George Soros? And so, yeah, I agree. It's a
and you're watering the game down just like with the Brady rule, with the tackling the quarterback below his knees.
You're watering the game down.
So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to let Tom Brady get the pass off.
Yeah, because you know why? Because if Tom Brady can get the pass off, that means that chances are there'll be more points, which means that people will tune in.
It means it's just straight corporate, and they're bringing the game down. They need to start a purist league where no holds barred.
Whoa.
Fastballs to the head, everything.
Yeah, the situation is out of hand because really, if you look at it, the Chase Utley rule resulted in a series of changes immediately.
It did,
which they should have just, hey man, if that's the case, suspend Chase.
Right.
He's
about to get out the game anyway.
No, but suspend him for a few games or something like that. If that's how you felt about it, you're doing something physical. And in that, there's a chance that you're going to get hurt. You're being well compensated to take that chance.
Now,
what I'll tell you is I take that chance daily, weekly for my entire life without compensation, just because I want to compete.
Look at Mad Bum. He got hurt riding a motorcycle. I mean, you can get hurt, period, doing anything, anywhere. But if you get hurt on the field.
He was actually turning a double play on that motorcycle. That's how.
That's against the rules. It's against the rules, sir.
He got hurt.
Yeah, but. But if you get hurt playing on the field, then you got hurt. I mean, you accept that as a player. You're like, wow, I was playing, I turned it, he got me. It was a bad feed or whatever it was. But changing the rules to make me more safe, I'll pass.
It's not really more safe.
Yeah.
That sounds like what Coach Madden was saying, and I agree with him.
Dude diving on his head trying to get over the catcher. Come on, man.
You're more focused on the flag than you are on the actual play.
Or the review or whatever it is.
Yeah. Because this was a clean double play that the Cubs turned.
Well,
and that cost them the game, low-key. That really cost him.
But his whole Manny Machado thing was a clean slide at second base
That was
as well.
a clean slide. Now he's got to get hit 20 times. A bunch of people got hit, and the whole thing got overblown.
Because you changed the rules of the game. Now, has Rob Manfred ever played baseball?
I don't know. And I you know what? I'm not even necessarily against his reign as the baseball's commissioner.
Well, I am. If he's going to change the rules, I'm against it.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think he's done some positives. But what this like speeding up the game, those rules and all this stuff, that doesn't do anything.
Four fingers up. Man,
four fingers doesn't do anything. And I tell you what, you really want to ruin the game, go ahead and move forward with this nonsense about starting extra innings with a runner on second base and blah blah blah. This is
just don't go to the game if you don't want to watch baseball.
If you don't like baseball, you just don't like baseball. It's really simple. There's other stuff for you to do.
Oh, man, they're putting up 4 fingers now. I think I'm going to the game.
You know what? Baseball just went from a 3-hour game to a 2-hour and 58-minute game. I'm in. Those 2 minutes are so valuable.
Yeah, man, just keep pushing your $20 beers and everything else and keep it pushing.
Baseball is one of those things that it's institutional. You like to believe that it's something that's not going to change, that it's something that you can count on, that if you got caught up in the time chamber and you woke up, you could still go to a baseball game and you would still be like,
still see the same thing.
At least wow, this new kid's a stud. Who's that guy?
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's still the same game, and the game is changing a lot. And I'm not necessarily for it. You got anything else you want to add?
Nothing off the top except for your boy Cromartie.
I mean, it's your boy Cromartie. Actually, and Antonio, I played hoops against him a couple of times. He's a cool dude, man. And he, does he shoot him straight? Antonio Cromartie,
shooter, huh?
14. His wife is pregnant with his 14th child. That is awesome. He was in the Word of God, and he took that "Be fruitful and multiply" verse,
filling his quiver
to the heart.
He filled his quiver completely,
and the Lord let his cup runneth over, brother. and wow, that's good for you, man. You got a lot of Mother's Days to celebrate.
Yeah,
and I wanna congratulate my boy Asmir on winning the Premier League championship with Chelsea FC out in London, mate. They beat West Brom 1-0, and now they are ready for a parade. So if you're listening to us from across the pond, I know Asmir tunes in. Just want to give you love, man. Thank you, and thanks for bringing home that dub. We gonna claim it on the Ozone. Way to go! I was there last year, and the team was not in the best of positions, and this year you guys got the job done. That's great. Parade coming up soon in London. Handle your business. And you got anything else?
No, that's it for me.
That's it for me too. Hey guys, welcome Uninterrupted, and welcome us to Uninterrupted. We hope you've enjoyed us on the Ozone. Stay with us. This is the Ozone, unfair and partial sports podcast. This is what we have for you. It's a conversation amongst brothers that you are privy to. Want to leave you like we always do with a quote. Today we're going to go with a wisdom quote from the old Detroiter Henry Ford. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. Stay focused, folks. I am Omar Miller, your host, and this is the Ozone.
Ozone.
Here's a chance to dance our way out of our constriction. Gonna be freaking up and down the hang-up alleyway. With a groove I only got, we shall all be moved. Ready or not.